So my name is Marius Krachowski. I was the project architect for the Levantine Hill Winery. It was completed in May of last year for Elias Jasadi and his family. And their passion and legacy are to make some of Australia's best wines. It is a winery production facility, first and foremost, and the intention therefore was to make their wines on site at the winery in a very controlled environment. The master plan was developed with tract, and the site is located along the Maroondah Highway. It's across the road from Rochford Winery. The Yarra River forms a natural eastern boundary. Before we completed the winery, we also completed a cellar door, which is located in the northwest corner of the site. The winery is just located east of that, and it's separated by a green space we refer to as the village green. Car parking is located to the west, and there are future plans for some accommodation south of that car park. The traditional owners and custodians of the land on which the project is built are the Wurundjeri people. So my respects are to the elders, past and present. The river at the east of the site is of cultural significance. So it was important that we respect the river and the surrounding native vegetation. We look for inspiration and opportunities from the natural landscape, bucolic landscape, to embody the winemaking relationship within the architecture. So we have undulating landscape and hills, corrugations and spines of the vines. We also drew inspiration from agricultural sheds that could be found on the site with steel corrugated cladding. The cellar door was completed in 2015. I was project architect for that project as well. And that was all about the food and wine relationship. And the cellar door sets the theme of the soft curve. So when considering the siting, the location on the top of the hill was selected, and that's in response to topography. So we had to consider the location of the existing vines and the strong relationship back to the cellar door, which is right on axis. The landscape was designed with tract, and it comprises of native plant selections in response to the region's natural vegetation. The village green is host to some art, and we try to immerse it into the landscape to create a sense of discovery. So there's also space for contemplation and appreciation of the natural iconic views. The wine production facility is located at the eastern end facing the vines. And from the initial concept stages, we worked very closely with the winemaker. His name's Paul Bridgman, and he was able to design the facility around his winemaking process. Here is the north elevation, and you can see the delineation between the uses of the building. So on the left, where there's the recess at the bottom of the facade, is the winery production, and on the right is the function space, and that faces towards the west and the cellar door. All the winery processing occurs on the ground level, and it has all the state-of-the-art equipment, has a laboratory, office, staff facilities, and they all overlook the facility from the mezzanine. We use automated operable louvers and roof cowls for passive ventilation in the winery production area. There was a lot of attention for water conservation throughout the site through water harvesting. CO2 is the byproduct of the fermentation process, and it requires venting to the outside. So we've tried to express these vents in our design. There is a basement cellar. Obviously below ground, it's better temperature control. And the beauty of it is guests can also dine amongst the barrels here. The function space facade is defined by this steel canopy. It's an announcement. It sits amongst the trees, and we've planted some lemon-scented gums on each side. We wanted it to evoke a delicate, diaphanous, transparent feeling. It casts ever-changing shadows over the forecourt space. A pavilion is annexed at the south. We also consider how the building appears in the evenings and at night time, because it's one of the components is obviously the event space, function space.
1 minute.
The building responds to various climatic conditions in the valley. In the mist, it's soft. In the sun, it's strong. The curved form allows facade lighting to dissipate towards the top, a bit like the evening sky. On the entry, we've got a cantilevered canopy, a bit of weather protection upon entry. And then upon entry inside, we've got this backlit stone screen wall. It's meant to house a glass art graphic, but it's still in production, and a sculpture in that recess on the side. So it's a transition between the inside and outside. You go around it and the space reveals itself. The Belvedere and the light sculpture demarcate the main event space and the intimacy of the bar beyond. Industrial designer Frank Bauer was commissioned to design and fabricate the feature light sculpture. This is a view back to the main space from the Belvedere. Note the reflection on the floor and the shadows. The curved steel framework makes reference to a barrel vault. This is inside the pavilion annex, and it frames the views back towards the vineyard, towards the south, and it creates a more intimate setting for smaller functions, conferences, meetings, that sort of thing. And it can be used as a dance floor for bands, and people have their wedding ceremonies in there. This is a view back towards the Belvedere, backlit stone, backlit bar. That's where the kitchen amenities are, toilets, and above, behind the glass on the mezzanine, there's a bridal suite as well as a boardroom. And at the bar, just to reinforce this relationship with the wine, there is space for standing and sitting, and we'll use backlit stone to glow white behind a glass of wine. So I just want to end my presentation as the sun sets in the Yarra Valley. Thank you.